We're gonna have the oath of office for Martin Turner and James Goodman administered by Judge Harrison.
I thank you. And if y'all will come over here. All right, it is my privilege this evening to administer the oath to James A. Goodman and Martin A. Turner III, who are our new county commissioners. I have two oaths for each of you. So I'm gonna read the oath. First, we have the loyalty oath for each of you. When I read the oath, you'll repeat after me, and so if you'll raise your right hand, this is a loyalty oath. I state your name.
I,
A citizen of Camden County,
a citizen of Camden County,
Georgia,
Georgia,
and being an employee of Camden County,
and being an employee of Camden County,
Georgia,
Georgia,
and a recipient of public funds for services
and a recipient of public funds for services
rendered as such employee,
rendered as such employee,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
and affirm
and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of Georgia.
and the Constitution of Georgia.
All right, so help me God.
So help me God.
That's Mr. Goodman. Mr. Turner. I assume y'all know what you're getting yourselves into.
Yeah.
Too late now.
Well, from what I hear, the county's lucky to have you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, then we have the official oath of office. And again, I will read the oath. And as I read the oath, I'll try to read it so you can follow along and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, James A. Goodman,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will truly and faithfully
that I will truly and faithfully
perform the duties of the office
perform the duties of the office
of Commissioner of Camden County, Georgia,
of Commissioner of Camden County, Georgia,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I do further solemnly swear or affirm
I do further solemnly swear or
that I am not the holder
holder
of any unaccounted for public money
of any public money
due this state
due this state
or any political subdivision
or any political subdivision
or authority thereof,
or authority,
and that I am not the holder of any office of trust
and I am not of any office of trust
under the government of the United States,
under the government of the state,
any other state,
any other state,
or any foreign state,
or any state,
which I am prohibited from holding
which I am prohibited
by the laws of the state of Georgia,
by the laws of the state of Georgia,
and that I am otherwise qualified to hold said office
and I am qualified to hold state office
according to the Constitution of the United States
according to the Constitution of the United States
and the laws of Georgia,
and the laws of
and that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right. And if you will each sign, Mr. Goodman, Mr. Turner. Thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. Miss Katie, I'm gonna fill these out, sign them, and I'll give them to you.
Okay, at this time, we're gonna pass the gavel to, the county attorney to, for the reorganization of the board.
First order of business is nomination of a chair. Are there any nominations from the panel?
I nominate Ben Casey for chairman.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any other nomination? All in favor signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. It's unanimous. Madam Clerk, congratulations, Mr. Chairman. Pass the gavel back.
Okay, this time we need a nomination for, vice chair. We have a nomination.
I nominate Laney Brandt for vice chair.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor? Carries unanimously. That brings us to the agenda amendments. I'd like to make a motion that we remove item number 1 so that we can have more time to add details for the public and clarifications. This is both for the public and the new commissioners, so they'll each have time to study these contracts.
Second the motion and thank you.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. This brings us to the adoption of the agenda as amended. Can I get a motion on that?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? The adoption of the agenda is unanimous. This brings us to public comments. This is on the adopted agenda only.
Pete Winkle.
Harriet Spluff. Find it very unusual that the agenda has been adjusted, especially removing item number 1. It's pretty obvious to the public that the list was carelessly put together and that there would have been no way for the Board of Commissioners to have voted on that list without breaching the oath that they had just taken. And I think it's a good idea that you removed it from the agenda. But it was on the agenda and it had already been adjusted once because it originally also included Andrew Nelson, who was also a spaceport project that has gotten more than $1.5 million from us. And tonight's agenda also had FVI, Fenimore Ventures, another spaceport provider.
Mr. Winkle,
It's on the agenda.
it has been removed from the agenda, sir. Also,
I understand. I drove down here to have my conversation about an item on the agenda that you removed at the last minute because of the mistake. And I'm going to leave, but this is a problem with this board. You don't want to hear from any citizens.
Mr. Winkle, you can come up during the second comment period and state anything you wish. Thank you. Anybody else?
My name is Ben Goff and I live at Harriet's Bluff. Item number 2 on this agenda, reaffirm existing employment contract of the county administrator and the county attorney. I would like to hear some discussion about that. I'd like to know the ins and outs of it before it's reaffirmed. It is not common knowledge. I know it's requestable. but the vast majority of the people don't know that. So how can you reaffirm something in a public session without discussing it? Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Okay. This brings us, since we removed item number one, this brings us to item number two. We'll take this up one at a time, starting with the county attorney. Can I get a motion?
Motion
For
to
this item.
approve.
We have a second?
What was the motion? I'm sorry.
Motion to approve John Myers' contract or reaffirm his contract. I'll second it. And we open it up for discussion.
Can we define what reaffirm means, just for the public?
Well, reaffirm does not mean renew. It means just basically stating that, yes, we have these contracts available.
Point of order. In the reaffirm of all existing long-term county contracts, the county attorney was listed in those contracts. Did we not just do away with item number one?
Well, this is a separate item. This is
How
item number
how
two.
can it be on both of them? He's included in the 107 item long list of reaffirmations of contracts, long-term contracts.
Well, we can remove it and hold it to next meeting.
I make a motion, an amended motion to withdraw the motion existing and to table the reappointment of the county attorney for a subsequent meeting, preferably long enough from now to do some research.
I need to agree to withdraw mine.
Either
Okay with
withdraw
that?
or amend or state.
I would withdraw my
Okay,
motion.
we got a motion from Mr. Goodman. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Those in favor of tabling it to I say that we have it the next meeting. All in favor of tabling it to the next meeting? Motion carries unanimously. No, the next, regular meeting on the 17th. All right, this brings us to the additional, public comments. Mr. Winkle, you want to come back up?
You got a county administrator here.
Oh, yeah, left out the county administrator. Can we have a motion on, reaffirming the county administrators?
Make a motion to reaffirm the county administrator.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. But now this brings us to the last public comment section. Anybody wish to speak to the board?
Registered, yeah.
Okay.
Haven Drive in Kingsland. This comes from Taxpayers Against Spaceport Camden from today. Two of the highest paid Spaceport Camden consultants are on the list to have their contracts renewed. There are no details, no contracts for us to read, just more money down the drain. Spaceport lobbyist Jerry Keene with Joe Tanner and Associates has billed $3,500 a month to Camden County, Georgia government for years, totaling at least $243,000. Greg Amirati with Fenimore Ventures Group from a suburb of Chicago has been wired at least $593,000 of our tax dollars with absolutely no explanation for what he does. What does Greg Amirati do for us that has earned him over $500,000 of our hard-earned tax dollars? I trust you will get back to me on that. It is our money, and we deserve to not only know what he does, but to decide if we want to keep paying him for this mysterious service. You have been trying to get this spaceport idea off the ground for almost a decade. The Federal Aviation Administration has failed spaceports all over this country, and we would be their 13th. Clearly, this is not their or our lucky number. We don't want to be just another useless notch in their belt. The FAA just wants the world to think they have a thriving commercial spaceport transportation business when they absolutely do not. Get us off of this hamster wheel, gentlemen. You owe it to the people of Camden County after $12 million has gone down the drain to stop the bleeding from our wallets in this great county. Clearly, the money can be better spent on something that will benefit us, our children, and our grandchildren well into the future. And this spaceport definitely ain't it. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, but, Finmore has been off our payroll since July. Anybody else wish to speak for the board?
Mr. Manning?
That's Rick Manning from Bullhead Bluff. I'm going to address the agenda item that was just removed. I came to adjust it, and I'm going to address it. And I urge the board to not approve any more contracts associated with anything related to Spaceport Camden. We will reflect back on a statement made from Mr. Casey on March 10th, 2022. And I will quote, "I have informed the county administrator of my position on Spaceport going forward. If there is no buyer of the UCC property within the next 30 days, the county must cease any and all work on this project. Reason being, if one of these firms steps up and buys the property, we can still recoup the money spent by them paying a user fee for the license, as well as being able to continue to tax the property. In the absence of any buyer, the project must stop and all documentation released to the public." Also, during the conversation, I voiced my displeasure with the called meeting last week. I will not reveal all I said, but I will say I was not pleased in how the citizens appointed to the board was done. As with all other county boards or authorities, with the exception of solid waste, the openings are advertised for the public to apply. This was a quote by Mr. Casey. So I will urge the board to follow through on Mr. Casey's statement and cease anything spaceport related with our tax funds and release all the documents. Thank you.
Thank you for comments, Rick. Anybody else?
Did I understand you correctly when you said that there have been no expenses on the spaceport since July of last year?
No. What I told Ms. Keller was that Finmore, their contract was up, I believe, in July. That's what I was referring to.
Okay, so there are incurring expenses that are continuing to go on the spaceport. Is that correct?
There's legal fees.
There are legal fees in which the county is suing Union Carbide to try to compel them to sell the county the property, and in which the county voluntarily intervened in a lawsuit to try to defend the FAA against the lawsuit by environmental groups regarding the licensing. Is that correct?
I'm not going to discuss lawsuits.
Then how can you be voting on anything? You voted a month ago, just last month in December, to add another $250,000 to the budget for the remainder of this year, as far as I can tell, for legal fees in order to continue those lawsuits. That was in the minutes that you voted for $250,000 and that the other older board members approved a $250,000 additional expense. So let's be very clear. The spaceport is an ongoing cost to the county. It has generated $0 worth of revenue. The number one spaceport promoter for the county has abandoned Camden County to take a job elsewhere, and that there is no indication whatsoever that you have a single potential user of the spaceport, because there are no rockets even under development for that spaceport. And so the question is, how long are you going to play this string out? taking taxpayer dollars that you take under penalty of confiscation of our property? That's the question. You should end tonight. That should be a point of motion tonight by one of you. End it tonight. And if you aren't going to end it tonight, then it's an indication that y'all are still under the illusion that all of these traveling spaceport salesmen that came in here wanting a piece of our action and walking away with the $12+ million that have been spent, they've been successful. And y'all haven't wisened up yet. Thank you very much.
Thank you for comment. Anybody else? No, ma'am. You've had your one shot. But thank you. Anybody else? Seeing none, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn the special call meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All right, this gives us about 10 minutes and we'll be back for our regular meeting.